lucky draws. Okay, now let's move on to the third question for our guests. How do you think the adoption of the blockchain technology will evolve in the next decades? And what do you think the industries that will benefit the most from this blockchain adoption? Us from Serenity Shaw to tell us what he thinks. Please go ahead, Mr. Nikos.
Thank you. Well, I
Yeah.
think first of all, we only have to look at the varied technology applications and solutions that are present on our panel today to see that blockchain has a future, and the applications are vast and varied. I think nonetheless, the potential for blockchain technology to transparency, the efficiency, the reduction of intermediaries. I think there's real tremendous use case in financial services and supply chains. Tokenizing real world assets, like we mentioned at the top of the AMA.
Mm-hmm.
We see the viability of blockchain enhancing liquidity. But I think the key component for me is not so much about which sectors can benefit from blockchain, because really, I think when we look at it, there are so many industries that can benefit. I think it's more about the widespread adoption happening. The
Mm,
part that needs to come first is blockchain establishing itself with viability and credibility with the traditional market spaces. I think that is the part that we need to get right.
mm,
Um, the scalability will only happen when we've got the regulatory compliance that Glenn has just touched on upon as well. I think that's another component to all of this. And it really, for me, comes down to being taken seriously as an industry. I think the part that becomes crucial in all of this is this notion that cryptocurrency and blockchain to the public are the same thing when they simply are not. They, of course, they work in tandem, they come hand in hand, but the reality is we need to actually sort of establish a paradigm shift whereby utility exists for cryptocurrency to exist. They go hand in hand, and there has to be one that provides a solution or provides a technological need before there's a requirement to be holding tokens for the sake of it. And we see this with the boost this year. We were talking about the bull market also at the top of the call. We see this with the meme token market, with the flood of money that still comes in and the flood of liquidity that goes to meme tokens. Well, you have very serious projects building some tremendous things. And I feel that that is the one thing that we need to see. So while I do see the application of blockchain increasing over the next decade, and there's absolutely no doubt about that, and I think the sectors that we are talking about are widespread, arguably every sector could benefit from blockchain. The part that we need to start working on as a collective society in terms of the blockchain society is increasing our appeal, our viability, and our credibility for the space.
yes, right. And I think as more industries realize like the potential benefits of decentralization, transparency, and security offered by the blockchain, we will see a widespread integration across various sectors. What about Petya from MidHub Protocol? What do you think?
Uh, yeah, so I totally agree with the previous answer because we have mentioned the real world asset tokenization track, which can potentially be the one of the blockchain technology of the smart contracts of the development of this niche will be in terms of mass adoption for sure on a planetary scale. So over the next decade, it's posed to revolutionize several sectors, for example, such as DeFi, GameFi, SocialFi just appeared, some time ago. And as I have already mentioned today, the content industry is standing to benefit significantly. So this transformation will be driven by blockchain's inherent capabilities to provide transparency, of course, security and efficiency in transactions and data management. And yeah, as far as we as Mitel Protocol are building around the content industry, we strongly believe that it can potentially be one of these new drivers, new unicorns of the upcoming boom market. This is all about, the decentralized content distribution, enhanced copyright and royalty management, monetization, microtransactions relying only on smart contracts to provide full transparency. But as I said earlier today, in 2013, we had Bitcoin, then we had Ethereum with ICOs, then we had NFT market. So we have already passed all these topics, all these spheres, and people will just grow and develop them in the future. And for the next bull cycle, which is coming right now, something new, something unique should appear. So yeah, I think we have a very great opportunity to get onboarded new things in the Web3 over the next decade. Yeah.
Yes, completely in tune with you, and I think its impact is likely to extend across diverse industries. Okay, now for the fourth question, why not Mr. Gustav might answer for this, please. What factor do you think could affect the fluctuation of the cryptocurrency prices, and how do you assess the importance of these factors?
So, thanks again.
Yeah, sure.
First of all, like I think Glenn and Millie both touched on this things that are able to influence and make fluctuations. You know, regulation is obviously one of them. And Glenn, I don't think you'll get hate these days anymore for saying that, because I think everyone is starting to realize that regulation is necessary for the next step. We've come this far. Like I've been in crypto for 8 years, maybe almost 9 years. And in the beginning, you know, same, everything is anti-regulation, and we don't want that. And nobody's really, everybody was hating on anything that did KYC. But as we come closer and closer to like bit more adoption, you start to realize that there are many people out there that don't want the wild west, and that need some form of regulation. And you also need that for big capital to enter places like BlackRock, Grayscale, and Old Sailors, MicroStrategy. They can only get involved if there is regulation, because they have to report back to governments. So I think this is something that is on everybody's mind, is like regulation affects the price.
Mhm.
Also the sentiment, like Petya. Is it correct? Yeah, Petya mentioned, you know, at the moment, we know that the market is in a strong position, but everybody's very cautious. And the sentiment is there. You feel it kind of in all the groups and with all the projects. Everybody is kind of like, okay, the time is right, but nobody really knows when it's going to kick off. So I think taking into account the market sentiment, like what regulatory news is coming out, and just the big holders that are buying in, gives you a little bit of an indication of what is going to happen. I mean, a week ago, BlackRock bought almost $1 billion worth of BTC, and this just gives us a little bit of an indication of where they are feeling the market is going. And I mean, obviously, those guys are a lot more trained than my friend on Discord, so it's easy to follow these big companies and seeing what they are doing and how they are assessing the market, and give us a little bit of an indication of the of where the market's going. So this is something that I think is quite important, for the to assess the fluctuations and seeing which way is the long term trend. I'm not talking short term. This is more a long term trend over the next year, 2 years. Yeah.
Right, right. I think this interaction among these various factors you just mentioned can either magnify or elevate the impact on the price changes. Maybe Jane from Spill Trading also have something to add on this question.
Yeah, thank you, Rana. Thank you for your question. Yes, like many people mentioned before, the regulation may impact the prices very sharply, and so we see many examples that if you got a ban on crypto trading, will lead a sharp drop in the prices, and very commonly I think the market sentiment will also influence the prices, because the market will all influenced by the investor sentiment and market psychology. The fear, the uncertainty, and speculation will lead rapid price movements. And what we also mentioned before, the technological progress, the new technological developments, such like the blockchain upgrade, the new use case for the cryptocurrencies will impact the prices, and also the level of the liquidity in the crypto market will influence the prices. I think it's very hard to prioritize the influence of this factor, but you can use the variety of tools and techniques such as monitoring market sentiment through the community, the social media, and the news analysis. Like you checking the regular developments and analyze the data, so it will depend on very different cases. So as the trading advisor, we also have many strategies to manage the risk associated with cryptocurrency price fluctuations. Like we do the hedging strategies using the risk management tools. So, if your team has extensive experience in the crypto industry and deep understanding of the dynamics, it's very important to work closely with the clients to understand the goals and develop the customized strategy to meet the needs. Yeah, I think that's my answer. Thank you, Rana.
Totally agree with you, Jane. Thank you so much, guys. You've answered, like, you've covered almost all the points needed. I see our audience here are active with us today. Why not try another lucky draw to see who gonna win today? Let's see. Okay. Okay, let's see. All right, congrats, guys. Oh, I don't see my name. That's not good. Okay. Now let's go for the fifth question. Okay, this question is quite interesting. Maybe Pitya from Metal Protocol and Gustav from Portree can answer it for us. So the question goes like, what are your prediction, guys, for the performance of projects in the future, and like which project do you think have the potential to go? Let's start from Pitya. Why not?
Yep, sure. So this is quite an interesting question actually, because we can already, observe a change in the trend of the project's development from the previous cycles. We can already identify new directions, new approaches to solving the problems of the Web 2 world. And at the same time, we can feel that fresh teams have come to the market and to Web3 in general to bring more ideas, to bring new concepts and principles that were not considered before by other teams. So yeah, looking ahead, projects that address core issues such as, again, our favorite word, scalability, interoperability, and user-friendly applications. And as we have today during this AMA, decentralized data storage infrastructures and decentralized content issuance, distribution, and monetization solutions truly have high potential. But again, the future performance of Web3 projects will likely hinge on several criteria, including technological innovation of the blockchain technology, user adoption on the level of Web2 mass adoption, and regulatory compliance, of course. So projects that continue to develop their technology now, implementing new strategies, new layers, for example, layers 2, layers 3, which are faster and cheaper, also have clear real world use cases and maintain compliance with increasing regulatory standards, are likely to perform well. However, there is something that people have not yet noticed, I think, on the global scale yet. There is a niche, yeah, again, where there are now so few projects that have started to build long-term solutions to achieve mass adoption, even from past bear markets we had just 2 years from now. So yeah, this multi-billion dollar niche, even I would even say $1 trillion niche, is content. And yeah, of course, I won't dive deeper into it because we have a general AMA flow today, so we are talking about basic things. But if you just wonder which niche has not stepped in to the Web3 world, besides these DeFi, GameFi, wallets, infrastructures, other protocols, you can potentially notice huge opportunities from new, fresh teams who are still building quietly but confidentially. So
Yeah.
yeah, I think we are all part of something bigger
Mhm.
here, and very grateful for this opportunity to share our views and excited to discuss more market related topics today.
Thank you for you. What about Petya? Petya, what do you think?
It was actually me.
Yeah, I think
Oh,
Petra was talking just now.
Gustav from Poetry.
I think Petra mentioned everything that I was actually that I wanted to talk about. You know, this for me, like you mentioned, the meme cycle is now done, but it's never really done. It always pops up on another chain. It started, you know, we could say Doge is probably one of the first that came out, and we know each chain, every cycle, there's another big one that arrives. So I don't think they will go away, but you know, it's always difficult to find that specific one in the meme area. But for me, I'm looking forward to projects that are developing real world asset, like you know, backed by real world assets. Currently, I am part of a group of people that are experimenting with the vision of like land into basically like NFTs. So NFTs backed by real world assets, and then getting a profit share from that. And it's just it's quite an interesting concept to work with these guys and see how they are approaching this. And I think for another part of the expansion of like what is happening in the crypto space, I think real world assets, we haven't really seen it at the forefront yet. So I think this is something that will come into play or can come into play. And as well, as Petya mentioned, projects that are building things for adoption, because we all see it, we all know it, is just the fact that the it's difficult to access. The learning curve is high. There's so many ways that things can go wrong and will go wrong. That it's a common saying that if you haven't been scammed in crypto, you haven't been in crypto long enough. And that's an idea that needs to like change. There needs to be way for adoption that is safe, and ways for people to come in and not have to deal with all of the negative things that do also occur in the space. Obviously, they are the positive things outnumber,
Mm-hmm.
but I think this is something for like a greater adoption. There has to be projects developing uh, adoption technologies. And yeah, for my shoot for the next cycle will probably be for projects doing real world assets. I think this is quite a fun way and a great way to interact across globally.
Mm-hmm.
Especially, you know, you are able to share in the ownership of something across the globe, and that's quite an interesting thought for me.
Yes, totally. Just now you mentioned the real world asset. I think we have a question that actually covers this, and would like Nikos from Serenity Show to enlighten us with this. Why not Petya and Gustav, because you guys two mention it. You can give us your opinion. So the question is, as we delve into the future of cryptocurrency markets, how do you see the integration of real world assets shaping the blockchain landscape? Let's start from Nikos from Serenity Shield.
Sure. Well, I think I would certainly expect that the integration of RWAs in the blockchain sector, I would certainly be looking for a landscape shift, certainly similar to what I was saying in the previous answer, um, by making the application um, more relatable to the masses. So the application of blockchain, that is. And what do I mean? Well, naturally, I would anticipate the tokenization of a broader range of more traditional assets that we are all familiar with, things like real estate, medical data, commodities, stocks. Things like this could certainly be positioned to expand the utility of blockchain as we know it. Obviously, there's a number of benefits and related sort of positive sides to this. Using Serenity Shield as an example here, we are particularly focused on the digitization of things like sensitive documents and hard files, which can be, coupled with decentralized storage to in turn empower our clients to handle their own data and create opportunities for them, for example, to generate revenue through monetization of that data should they wish to do so. So I do believe the blockchain will probably adjust itself to the demands of the wider market through these traditional assets that we are all related to, which is back to what we've been saying on this panel, I guess all through this AMA, is that utility is at the forefront now of what we're expecting for blockchain. There will always be, like the previous answer, there will always be these meme token opportunities or speculative assets that people will be interested in. But if we are looking for that